March 3rd, 2017. That was the day that the original Nintendo Switch came out. I would show you it because I had one laying around here that I bought at launch, so don't get it twisted, I have and love my Switch. But I sold it, and I even got a red one eventually. That's how much I like this thing. With that said, recently there have been so many rumors, and I'm sure you've heard them, and the fact that you're watching this is probably part of the fact that you're following the trend of the Nintendo Switch's new hardware iteration. 2 years after its release, they made the Switch Lite, which I said before was a stupid idea. It was more comfortable to hold, sure, it was cuter and a little bit cheaper, but ultimately a dumb idea. Ever since then, everybody's been saying there's gonna be an HD one, it's gonna be super 4K, it's gonna have a better processor, bada bing, bada boom, it's gonna do everything in the room. Today, we finally got that long-awaited announcement, and it was nothing of the sort. The new Switch is going to, instead of having a 4K screen or even a 1080 screen, will be a 1280 by 720 resolution 7-inch OLED screen. Rather than making a stronger, better looking Switch, they're going with better color definition. OLED is a weird technology that I don't see the hype in. I feel like it was kind of a big deal back when they put one in the PS Vita, which I have one of, but I didn't like that so much that I wound up later getting the LCD version of the PS Vita because I didn't like that OLED screen. That's my own preference, right? Sure, but for many people that are getting Switches, and a lot of people are younger, and a lot of people are getting them for their kids, so on and so forth, and it's meant to be a travel system, that OLED screen over time is going to get messed up. Because that's what I didn't like about it. Pressure on the screen can eventually make it sort of spiderweb, and at certain colors and brightnesses, it looked terrible. So for that to be the major feature for them to put in this new Switch, what, 4 years after the original release of the Nintendo Switch, is just, it's hard to justify. I need a drink. Honestly, I don't care about graphics. I'm not going to play the Switch to have cutting-edge graphics. I have a PS5, and furthermore, I have a PC that I've built that's better than the PS5, the Xbone, whatever the hell you want to play. My PC is going to outperform it. Performance is what matters, and the thing that I love about the Switch is portability. So lo and behold, instead of giving us a better processor, they said, you know what? We're gonna put a kickstand on it, a better kickstand. Let me tell you this, Nintendo, stop thinking that people are playing this thing on top of a roof. Stop thinking that people are going to the middle of McDonald's and putting this on the table and taking controllers that are this big that you haven't fixed drifts on yet are playing like this in the middle of McDonald's. It doesn't happen, and it never will. And if it does, you should shun those people from society. I honestly almost didn't believe when I saw that the major improvements were OLED and a kickstand. It's insulting. Then later on, I saw a million boys with bad facial hair with the same exact thumbnail on their YouTube videos, and I said, you know what? If you can't beat them, join them. But I don't have bad facial hair. And I'm sure it's gonna have better battery life or whatever, but I don't know how much more I can intend to use this thing outside. The battery life it has so far has not been a problem for me. That doesn't mean don't improve it, but let's stop acting like it's not 2021 and that mobile power banks are not a thing. Or just bringing the damn charger with you. Another hilarious thing that they're adding is that the dock will now have an Ethernet port in it. Okay, that's good and all, but I'm gonna be real, I've been rocking a USB to Ethernet adapter since my Wii U. And truthfully, what games are there even to play online? Splatoon 2 is dead, and Smash Brothers has always sucked online. And don't think that I don't have a horse to back in this race, because I absolutely do like the Switch. Look, that should be a good enough proof that I play the hell out of this thing. But I'm gonna be real, they haven't been focusing on software. Yeah, sure, this year we got the announcement of a new Metroid game and a new Breath of the Wild. I'm sorry, but 2 games do not sell a console. And before anybody tries to say that a multiplat is worth buying on the Switch, just stop. Don't stop. You're gonna embarrass yourself. If ever there is a game that's been released on both Switch and PS5 or Xbox or PC, don't even bother Googling it. It's never worth buying on the Switch over any other console. But we put extra bananas in this version. I'm complaining because time and time again, this is what happens. It was already bad enough that the Switch Lite was such a pointless upgrade. And the sad part is I'll probably buy one. Honestly, it would have been better off not releasing a hardware revision at all, because it got to the point where it had been so long since all the rumors were floating around and everything was going on that I think people finally were sort of tapering back their expectations. People had kind of given up on the idea of a Super Switch or a Switch Pro or whatever it was going to be. I certainly had. And to be honest, I think no new Switch would have been better than this new Switch. Make no mistake, Nintendo lost. This hardware revision sucks. Their console is underpowered, and it doesn't even have the best graphic fidelity going forward. It doesn't even have industry standard graphic fidelity. I'm sure that there will be a different processing chip in it. More than likely, it'll be a different model, but it will likely have no difference in processing power. Same thing with the Red Switch, or the newer 2.0 Switches rather. Those ones technically have a different processor than the original, but they're no faster. And that's what you need, because this system is severely underpowered. A lot of these games run like trash. And docked versus undocked mode, we're talking hot garbage mode. Nintendo really thinks that games like Splatoon 3 and Breath of the Wild 2 are going to be enough to keep this system afloat over the next year. And I'm sorry, but they're not. Breath of the Wild wasn't that good to begin with. Just saying. We're talking climbing simulator and baby's first shooter. Obviously, there's other games that you can get for this system, but I don't think anybody in 2021 is going to randomly say, I need to buy that Switch. It's got OLED and I can play Super Mario Galaxy. I don't know. They could have held this in, said, you know what, we're going to make sure this thing is 4K ready and at least 1080p. You could have at least gotten that right, but they didn't. And I don't know why they decided to stumble and release this now. They could have announced this months ago, and people would have been equally as disappointed. But who am I? I'm just a guy who plays video games, right? I'm just one of the people who's gonna buy this piece of crap anyway, because that's what I do. That's what we all do. We talk trash, and then we buy the thing that we talk trash about. But what do you guys think? Are you excited for this new Switch? Do you really think that it's worth the additional $50 on the price tag? At $350 now, we're talking a $350 for a little bit of a better, somewhat bigger screen, and probably better battery life, and a kickstand, and an Ethernet port. Are they gonna give me an Ethernet cable with it? Is it gonna be Cat 5 or Cat 6? Who knows? Oh, and they also botched the name. Switch OLED version or whatever that, what is it called? The new, it's literally just called the Nintendo Switch OLED model. They missed a prime opportunity to call it the Switcho. Let's get that trending now. Hashtag Switcho. Post it, drop a comment, say Switcho. Tell your friends on Twitter, Switcho. But what do you guys think? Am I crazy or am I just an idiot? Drop a comment below and let me know. If you like the video, make sure to like it. And of course, click what's on screen because that's a video that I made too. And if you like videos, stick around because I'm always making them. But yeah, that's it guys. I'm gonna do a funny thing to end this video now. You see all these Switch games? Oh! I gotta clean this up. God damn.